All right, we are going live. Hopefully, I catch it when it's there. Hey, you guys, happy Monday. Wow, what an amazing opportunity. New day, new week, new opportunities. I love that. It's like the beginning of a new start, although I don't like to think of our journey as starting and stopping. But what a great opportunity today is to be able to have a fresh start, a fresh look. I want to say start, fresh perspective of our wholeness journey. So today I want to talk about a mind shift, one simple little shift. Our journey isn't just about the destination. It really is about the things we're learning and growing on our journey and finding joy in the journey, right? It's not just about, hey, man, I want to lose 50 pounds, right? We're not going to be happy until we get there. When we have that mindset, it makes it really hard to stay motivated, particularly when things don't go the right direction, that we have that expectation that it should, right? So today I'm talking about a simple mind shift of, hey, it's just a little treat. I'm going to pop in that one little Reese's. It's okay. It's just a little treat, right? And you guys, I always talk about no shame, no guilt. We want to honor all of our heart, right? We don't want to try to bully our heart to do something that doesn't resonate with it. So we're not talking about that. But what I am talking about is that total vulnerability and honesty, even with ourselves and our own journey, right? Because we can't trick our minds. So if we're saying, right, I'm losing, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, right? And that's our goal. We're saying it, we're talking about it, we're, doing the things, but then, we decide to have this little treat, and in our heart, and we're kind of knowing like, yeah, this puppy isn't the best choice for me. And then we're trying to trick our brain to think, yeah, we're actually doing this. And your brain's like, no, you're not. Right? So it's like, we have to honor all of our heart, but we have to honor our body too, and realize, let's just be honest. Like if we're just saying, oh, it's a little treat, and we aren't really being vulnerable and honest, even with ourselves, but what does that look like? Then our brain's like, yeah, no, you're not. You can't do it because look at you, look what you're doing. So we can't trick our brain to believe something that we're not actually doing, but we can say, I am becoming, and then we're taking steps. Now that looks a whole lot different than saying, oh, well, it's just a little treat, right? So it's just a little mind shift in the way we're looking at it. Again, we want to honor all of our heart and our body, but at the same time, let's keep it real. Keeping it real means, hey, you know what? This may not be my best choice at the moment, but I'm going to make a decision, and I'm going to decide to have this little treat. And there's no shame and guilt in that. I'm going to make the decision to have this right now. And now I know that when I have this, I'm going to take some additional steps to continue honoring my journey and where I am. So maybe I'll make sure I get some more water in, right? Or maybe I'll make sure I get in another 2,000 steps, or I'll go for a fast little brisk walk, or take the stairs instead of the elevator, right? So it's kind of like you're not just hitting yourself, right? In terms of trying, or you're not being vulnerable and honest with yourself and saying, oh, it's just a little treat, because we know those little treats have impact on our health and our journey and our goals. So instead of trying to, kid ourselves, because we're not kidding anyone, because our brain knows what we're doing, we can't trick our brain to believe something different. What if we had that little mind shift where we're like, okay, this isn't just a little treat. I'm going to make a decision to have this treat right now, but I'm also going to do these things that are going to help me be able to, keep myself moving forward on my journey, and giving yourself some grace there but I think when we try to kid ourselves, or we're not honest with ourselves, and we're not living in that vulnerability, even with ourselves, that's when we start to kid ourselves. Oh, it's just this little treat. Okay, then now this other little treat. And then all of a sudden we're having all these little treats, and we're not making any progress in our journey because we aren't being honest with ourselves. So it's a matter of that vulnerability and honesty, even with ourselves, right? We have to start with us. We can't expect other people to believe us, or our spouses, or whatever, your health wellness coach, to believe you if you're like not even being honest with yourself. So it's that mind shift of honoring yourself, honoring where you are, and making a conscious choice. Like, okay, because what happens, you guys, when we go, oh, it's just a little treat, and we're not being honest with ourselves and our own journey, and then what happens is now we have the guilt and we have the shame, because we know deep inside that that's not really the case. that we're stressed, we're choosing food over comfort, and now we're pretending that we're not. But the reality is we know that we are. And that's not gonna help us, you guys. It's gonna keep us stuck. When we start to be honest with ourselves, start to look at our journey, but giving ourselves grace and realizing, okay, I really want this right now. And you're making a conscious choice, but you're not just saying, oh, it's just a little treat and blowing it off, but you really are acknowledging where you are on your journey, and you're making a choice to take that little treat. I've had sessions where I heard Jesus say, who says you can't have a piece of cake? Who said that? Have a piece of cake. So who says you can't have that little treat, right? There's not like one size fits all, but it's all about the mind shift, and it's about the vulnerability and the honesty with ourselves, with our heart, with our body, of what we're actually doing. When we start to make those conscious, powerful, honest choices, it shifts us from the way we're looking at our journey. And that's super, super powerful, right? And also, side note, when we're making that, oh, it's just a little treat, not being honest with ourselves, right? Can't trick our brain. Not only that, we have to know what the impact of that's going to be. And really making a conscious choice. Do I really want to take this little treat right now? Maybe there's a better way I can do this, right? And saying, body, heart, would it be okay if we didn't pick the little treat right now, if we didn't go had a little time with the Lord right here? Because you guys, even when you have like, oh, my little Reese's Pieces, it's okay. It's just a small little one. We have to understand the effects of sugar in our body. And when we have that little treat, A, we're not being honest about it. And B, we're not even recognizing what it's going to do. Sugar is more addictive than heroin, right? It sends all the addictive responses and the chemicals back into your brain. If you've been avoiding sugar, now you can jump right back into that sugar addiction. Just like if a heroin addict has heroin again, they immediately fall right back into the addiction, because it triggers all those same neuropathways, that same chemical reaction. It's super powerful. And that's what sugar does. Not only so, sugar will also mess up your gut. And now I'm a huge proponent of gut health. And now you're craving more sugar, not just because of the addiction, because now your gut that sugar's feeding the bacteria, and you're starting to get cravings. Now you want chip. I'm just saying there's so many things that go in with that, just a little treat decision. So have the power to be honest with yourself. Take that mind shift. I'm going to be honest with myself, and I'm going to make this choice, but I'm going to know when I choose this is going to be the response. Am I ready to address that right now? Am I ready to put myself through that? Think about it. Make it. And if you decide, yep, I'm going to have this little treat, then now you've made a powerful decision. You're not being dishonest with yourself, and you're making a decision that you're going to do this, because you guys, we have to keep living. If we tell ourselves you can never have this ever again, and it doesn't resonate with you, you're going to stop eventually. You can't sustain that. So it's mind shifts to understanding a little different perspective and a different view of how we're looking at it. Honesty with ourselves. And then you make a conscious, powerful decision of yes or no, what you're going to do. And then now you're eliminating the guilt, you're eliminating the shame. And now you don't have an excuse to keep doing more little treats, because now you blew it. And now you're just going to start again tomorrow. Right. So it's a simple mind shift that you're learning to make powerful decisions, even if it means it's not the best choice for you. You're being honest about it, and you're making a powerful decision to do it. And now you're going to keep stepping. You're going to have more water. You're going to do some other things to go, okay. But again, you can't, one thing you hear a lot is you can't outrun a bad diet. So if you're constantly making a powerful decision to have that thing that's not so great, well, then again, be honest with yourself. We know what that means. That means that you're not really moving forward in your journey, because you can't go run 10 miles to have that, that shot of scotch later in the evening, right? Because it's just so caloric. So you have to really think about the mind shift. I'm going to be honest with myself. I'm going to, is this really the best choice for me? Is this really what I want to do? And then if you decide to do it, it's a powerful decision you made. And now there's no shame and guilt, no blame, no shame and blame in that. You get to make that powerful decision, but now you're going to keep stepping forward, right? It doesn't mean you're starting and stopping. It means you are really stopping and thinking about it. And you might actually just find that when you take this next mind shift and this step, you're like, now that I've thought about it, now that I've put it into full perspective and I'm being honest with myself, I don't really even feel like wanting to have that little treat right now. I just feel like, yeah, I think I'll be fine with the orange. I'm going to have some orange slices. That actually is going to create, help with my sugar craving right here. Or maybe you're going to decide, I'm going to have that sugar-free chocolate peanut butter bar that has no sugar, that's with stevia, organic ingredients, and it still tastes good and I like it. So maybe that's actually going to satisfy me just as well. You see the difference when you start to be honest with yourself and make the little mind shifts? They're so, so powerful. So I just bless you guys with this. If this blesses you, share it with your friends. You can find, I'll have this up on my YouTube shortly, and share it and leave me a comment. How does this work for you? What is your thought on this? What's happened to you in the past when you've tried something like that? Have you ever tried it before? Is it a new thought for you? I want to hear from you. It's such an honor to walk alongside you in our wholeness journey. Bless you guys. I love you, and I hope to chat with you guys soon. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.